have used ChatGPT or an
What do
AI
you think
thing.
about AI?
AI has kind of been the big buzzword lately. It's been taking over TikTok, XR, VR, AR. It seems like AI
I don't think people realize it's going to look like this.
AI, the thing people love to hate. Over the last couple months to probably a year, AI has grown rapidly and at a crazy fast pace and at a crazy amount. And today I just want to go over quickly how AI has taken over every art form and everything over the last months in media and just everything. And I want to explain to everybody how that's been happening. I've also decided to break it down into 3 different sections, 3 different categories, easier to understand which one I'm talking about at what time. So the 3 categories I've decided to break this video down into are the videos, the music, and jobs, all relating with AI and how AI is changing them in ways. We'll say. So what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be going over how AI has been changing so much recently and has been growing at an insane pace. So that's what we're going to start with, and that's what we're going to get into today. So before I fully dive into the video section, I really just want to quickly explain AI kind of started and in the last couple years really like kind of grew, which gets to the videos, but I wanted to explain this first. So the first thing I really want to say, ChatGPT released on November 30th, 2022. From out the gate, people were experimenting with this thing, and at the time, keep in mind, it could only do words. And AI was a pretty new topic, I would say, and it slowly grew. It gained more capabilities. People were using it to cheat on tests, they were using it for everything, honestly, and it became a pretty good joke. But if you look at the original AI videos, which I will try to show some on screen, they were not that good. The early days of ChatGPT and other AI websites, like videos and images they were creating, they were pretty ass. Now, if you look at them, I mean, they've evolved so much and they've changed so much just in the last couple years. It's really crazy to me to see this change in only, the thing isn't even 3 years old, and they introduced images around late 2024, early 2025, images and videos, and they've taken over. People have been using them, and if you look at in TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, you can even see AI taking over those feeds and AI videos being made and being pretending to be content creation. Now, right now, they're still in the early stages, and they're not necessarily crazy, I would consider them, but they've still grown so much in such a short time span, probably become more abundant. These growing at such a rapid pace, ChatGPT really being the forefront of all of this. It's just crazy to me how we've grown so fast in only less than 3 years. We went from videos looking like this to them now looking like this. And videos, I feel like they're gonna keep growing with AI. And it tricks plenty of people. There's plenty of people who think they are real. And that's really what the video section has grown to. They've just blossomed and gone crazy with everything that they've had. Not even 3 years from ChatGPT's launch, and just videos growing and being fake. Like the other day I saw a Minecraft video that was fake. It looked fake, but an AI, but same time, some people might get fooled by that, and it's crazy to me that they've grown to that level. That's what I have to say for the video section. They've just grown really fast in a short time span. People are realizing they are the AI, but they might not realize it the first time, and there's some older people who might get tricked by that and stuff like that. Now for how AI is affecting music. Music is a hard thing to innovate, but we've seen it change over the years. We've seen autotune being introduced and other things like that make it easier, and new synths and new stuff like that make it easier for musicians to make their music, and they take advantage of those. They were always skeptical at first, of course, but over time they understood, like autotune, for example, and stuff like that. But AI is it's so much deeper than all of the other versions of stuff we've seen innovative in the music genre. There's a couple of examples I want to say real quick that we've seen over just the last couple of months of AI being introduced into music. The first one I want to talk about is The Weeknd and Playboi Carti's Timeless. Fans have heavily speculated that parts of it are AI. I personally think even if it is AI, that's okay. But some other fans say AI, ruins a song. It makes it not as interesting, which is why it's such a problem in the music industry and why people are not as accepted to it as auto-tune, or I don't think will be ever. Maybe they will, but maybe they won't. So the reason why people say sounds like AI is because it sounds a little off. It doesn't sound like Playboy Cardi's verse. It doesn't sound like normal Cardi. It sounds a little bit AI, and people have deep dived into it a little bit. And the way AI music works, I should explain this real quick. Basically, I mean, there's different ways you can do it, but the main reason that's concerning right now is people, they will use a reference track, so they will get someone else to sing it, and then they will put it through an AI filter that will put their voice on it. And those are the two examples I'm talking about. There's other forms as well, but those I think are the most prevalent and main ones at the time of this video and stuff like that. They say, look, he clearly put this through AI and didn't sing it himself. Now, do I think that's true? I mean, it's speculation. It could be true. I think even if it is true, that doesn't, in my opinion, as long as the music still sounds good, which I think the song is great, I don't mind if AI is used. But plenty of other people disagree with that, and I totally understand that. Now, another example of this, which is probably a more prevalent and honestly more sad case, is Kanye West. We all know him. We all know what he's done over the last couple months, stuff like that. But basically, for his new albums and stuff for the last couple months, the stuff that he's shown has been seen as AI, which he's taking, most of which, by the way, are reference tracks. The reference tracks he's been using are Dave Blunt's, you know the guy? He's using his voice, and then he's putting for AI filter, and then Kanye's putting his own voice onto it. Worse, Timeless, if you listen to it, it doesn't sound fully AI. There's still some signs, because AI is a new technology, and obviously it's not perfect in any of these that I'm discussing today. If you look at that, it's so bad, and I don't understand why you can have some artists like Cardi who can make it work and kind of be iffy if it's there and not be 100% confirmed, while you have people like Kanye who it's so obvious and you're using such a weak reference track because every song sounds the same from Dave Blunt. So if you look at his album Bully, promised to be a pretty good album, but you know, so much AI usage in that has made people more skeptical of it and kind of hate it. There's other reasons. You know, Kanye's a complicated guy, but there's also his other album, which I can't say it's any of its names except for one of them, World War III. That's the one he's mostly using the Dave Blunt reference track, it seems. So much AI throughout it, and people are just skeptical, which it loses the trust between the artist and their fans, I think, at least in the music's case. Those two intertwine with each other, and the fans and the artists complement each other. Well, having the artists use AI in so many of their songs, and that loses kind of the trust and the realism of it, which I think is why it's such a complicated topic of debate right now in the music community, especially in rap and pop and other genres. People don't know if it's real. People don't know if it's true, which is a big problem with AI. But music, it's really heavy. And Kanye has since said as well, I think he said that he's done using AI, but this man changes his mood every 5 seconds. He said he's Christian, then the next moment he's probably going to be, you know. And it is sad to see, but I think it can work in the right scenario, which is why AI is really the good and the bad. There's pros and cons to everything, and AI is no exception. I just think in music, it's so much harder to pull it off because your fans feel such more connection than other art forms like videos, and you know, there's a connection in those. I'm not saying there's not, but it's just way harder. Make it seem real when your fan base has that trust with you and you build trust, but now you're kind of devaluing that trust and stuff like that. And I presume we're gonna probably keep seeing it because, I mean, you know, we have #1 songs. We have Rather Loud, we have Timeless by Cardi, and The Weeknd, who are actually, like, they're going #1. They're going crazy streaming numbers. And as long as those keep happening, I don't think it's gonna stop. If I see it, I want it to get better in music because it sounds so fake sometimes. It really does sound like a robot made it. But I also want that realism at the same time. So I do understand both sides of the issue. And it is a really hard issue. And there's no concrete evidence for both these songs and other songs that have AI. But the fans have heavily speculated that. And I'm inclined to agree. Those are my thoughts really on music and how the music is being changed by AI and these reference tracks that people are using, and losing the trust of the community and their audiences that the artists have built. Now for the final of the 3 sections I talked about at the beginning of the video, jobs. This is probably the most important one because jobs are what makes the world go round. They make the money, they make people be able to sustain and live. And we've already seen, in the last, honestly, 10 years, we've actually seen AI and robots take over jobs. Now, did they do a full takeover for the last 8 years? Not really. They were kind of there, but humans were always more efficient. They were always able to do a lot more than these robots and AI things could do. But now, recently, we've seen it take over way more jobs. And people have been saying this for years. They've been saying AI is going to take over all the jobs. Robots are going to take our jobs. And this is the most important because that's what fuels people. That's what gives people money. That's what fuels people's ambitions. And also, jobs just give people a platform and somewhere to make stuff. And when you take that away by making a soulless being that you can make thousands of in pretty quick succession, that definitely causes a dent to the economy as well as a bunch of things. We've seen it. We've seen jobs being slowly taken away and being replaced by AI. That one's been the most slow of all these processes. I would say I've talked about between videos, music, and job. And honestly, eventually people are probably just gonna all have to be like a content creator or something. They won't be able to do their normal jobs because how would an AI, a soulless being, be able to do POV stuff and record themselves all the time? It's very hard to do that. But with that being said, though, like I talked about in the video section, it just kind of goes along with that. They may take over content creators. You might see like Minecraft short creators or something. You can make those with AI now. You can make something and it will trick audiences and do probably better in some cases than these actual creators who are putting all their work into these and trying to build a community and build an audience. But instead you have a soulless AI with someone behind it, yes, but then just making that the face, and then it just creates its own thing, which could be more successful than the actual people working these content jobs and being content creators. And maybe, AI is going to take over at some point. I believe it's going to take over all these stuff. I don't want to be cheesy, but we have to stand our ground, and we have to do the things that we're good at that AI just can't do. People are going to keep funding them, and this is why it's so dangerous. People, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, whoever, are going to keep funding these ideas because they're innovative. Apple, Samsung, they're even making their iPhones and their phones AI capabilities. So it's becoming way more abundant, and jobs are going to be harder and more sparse to get, which, is already a problem. Fucking tariffs and stuff like that. It's going to keep growing. If you're going to take away anything from this video, take away that the jobs is the one that's most important and we're losing the most. Obviously, the other two, music and videos, are important as well. But those are also a part of job. Those can go, you can be a producer, you can be a musician, you can be a content creator and those will be your jobs, and they might get taken away by a soulless AI being. Be aware that AI can easily take over so much jobs and so many people's way of making their money and way of making themselves sufficient and revenue. Overall, I'd say AI, it's a very polarizing topic, obviously. There's so many pros, there's so many cons to really everything that AI has been doing, and it's grown at such a rapid pace, and I don't know if it will be stopped. I think it will probably keep growing, but as long as we humans keep doing what we're doing, take advantage of what we know, I don't feel like AI can take over every aspect, because there's some stuff that a robot and a soulless being that doesn't have a real soul can do. To be fair, they are powered by humans who are feeding our emotions to them. But if you don't feed it to them, they don't know how to feel that. That's just my kind of take on it, I would say. And this whole video, I just wanted to talk about how AI is affecting these art forms and affecting these different ways that people have expressed themselves and these ways that people are making money, doing what they love, and how it's so easy and such in a quick time span that this stuff can take over. It's we just kind of have to live with it and try our best, I guess, to calm it down, but also take the good things out of it, because there are some good things that it's done. But obviously, with music, it loses trust between your audience and the musician. In videos, it makes people not know if it's real or not. And then jobs. Losing jobs, which make people money, will make more people poor. Of course, there's a bunch of other reasons why people are losing their jobs, but that's one of them, and it's a pretty easy way and quick way for people to lose them. That's how AI has taken over every art form. So if you all enjoyed this video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to post as much as I can and post what I like to do. And yeah, if you enjoy this AI video, yeah, comment what your full thoughts are, maybe something like that. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.